Let's freaking go! A very happy Thanksgiving to each and every one of you. Now, I want to start off tonight's show with a very special announcement. I think we have solved PIEGATE. Now, if you watched our live stream from yesterday, you know all about that. We'll talk about that coming up. But the big news is you could buy this shirt right now. PowerHourLSU.com. It just went live today. So, new merch. You guys have been asking for hoodies. PowerHourLSU.com. I've gotten a black hoodie and I also got a gray shirt with my own money to actually look at the products themselves, see if I actually like the way that this new company actually prints my stuff. Now, I still do have the OG Power Hour LSU t-shirts. Those are special. Those are hand-delivered from me. Those come with Joe Burrow cards. You could still purchase those, but this merch is different, right? It's cool. You guys want hoodies. I kept getting asked about hoodies. PowerHourLSU.com is where you can find it. I did not know getting a website and doing all of that would be this expensive, but it's perfectly fine. And I'm looking forward to it. So PowerHourLSU.com. There he is, JJ. I've been missing you, man. JJ helped us solve Turkeygate earlier today. I say Turkeygate. But there you go. The Master Blaster. What's good? So we normally don't do Wednesday night live streams. Of course, there is so many different things we could talk about getting ready for Texas A&M. I think something does need to be said come Saturday, right? Like the truth about Texas A&M. Wait, why is this? Oh, that was kind of weird. It was kind of a visual illusion, like the bottom half of this sleeve right here. But anyway, I feel like I need to say something about Texas A&M right now, okay? I don't think it. Look, as LSU fans, we're always nervous, right? Especially after the Arkansas game, a game that we should have won a little bit more handily than what we actually did. As LSU fans, we saw what happened with Tennessee and South Carolina this past weekend. Overall, we have not performed good on the road. This is only our fourth road game of the entire season. 2 of the 3, we were flat out abysmal. And the one versus Florida, we were spectacular offensively, right? Now, defensively, we've pretty much been good in all 3 of the games. The only embarrassing thing defensively was the Anthony Richardson 80-yard run. All the other plays were just good plays that the other team made. Now, I do think this needs to be mentioned. Our PHL patrons already know this stat. And this stat honestly blew my mind, okay? If Auburn, Vanderbilt, and Missouri all pull off upsets over the next 72 hours, okay, or however many hours, if all 3 of them win, no matter what happens on Saturday, Texas A&M will be the only team that will not be eligible for a bowl game. Think about that for a second. If Vanderbilt, Missouri, and Auburn. Now, is Auburn probably going to beat Alabama? No. Is Vanderbilt probably going to beat Tennessee? Probably not. Is Missouri going to beat Arkansas? No. But I share that because Texas A&M really has been that bad this year, okay? So the simple truth is that we, as a team and as a fan base, are really worried about Saturday. Texas A&M, in terms of just raw talent, composite recruiting score, they're ahead of each and every one of those teams that we mentioned, and they're ahead of most of the teams that we've played this year. And we know Texas A&M is going to get up for this game. There's a lot of Louisiana recruits in there. There's a lot of recruits like a Bryce Anderson, who was once committed to LSU. There's a lot of kids over there that have ties to LSU, right? But Texas A&M's a bad football team. They are bad. They barely beat UMass last week. UMass. They had one win. UMass. They barely beat them. Like I mentioned in our Patreon breakdown, that was the worst 3-possession win in the history of 3-possession wins. They won 20-3. Don't know how you let a team like UMass play you that close, but they did. The growing piece of me says this game won't be close on Saturday. I think LSU will win by double digits. I do. Now, point spread set at 10. We'll see. I thought the UAB game would be close. It was a blowout. We haven't traveled the absolute best this year in terms of our offense. But we'll see come Saturday. Okay? What's up, Carvis? Good to see you. LSU going to come at TAMU in Georgia like Spider Monkey. What's up, LA Mom? Good to see you. The hats are currently being printed. I'm going to deal with all the hats. And you'll just buy them directly from me. But our online store is up. And I think it's if you get like 2 items or something like that, you get free shipping or something. I don't know. I'm used to all of this. I'm still figuring out how all this works. But PowerHourLSU.com is a really real thing. And I paid quite a bit for it today. So obviously, if it is in your heart's desire, we do have a Black Friday sale where, the price of the items will actually go up to their regular price. So once again, if you go to PowerHourLSU.com, you have until Friday where you can take advantage of everything that we have in the store. Okay? PowerHourLSU.com. I'm worried because of their talent level. I am too. Like, there's a piece of me that says, look, this is a really, really talented squad. But honestly, John Sibley, one thing that really stood out to me about watching Texas A&M is they are sloppy. Like, they are not the most well put together team, right? They don't play together. I feel, especially in their front seven, they have a lot of talent on their defensive line that just has not played up to their ability. They don't play together. They don't play as a unit. They get fooled easily by misdirection. Now, it's hard to run straight at them, but stopping the run this year in the SEC, if you Power 5 adjust the numbers, they are in the bottom 3 in the SEC in stopping the run. Now, what I will say about Texas A&M, where they are really, really, really good, is their secondary. I would say their secondary is as good, if not better, than ours. Right? Antonio Johnson, really good player for them. 27, a good player. But outside of that, our front seven's better than their front seven. Secondary, it's about even. Running backs are about even. Quarterback, we have a big advantage. Offensive line, we have a big advantage. Wide receiver, have a pretty big advantage there as well. I just think LSU is just a better team. I just have a tough time believing Texas A&M puts it all together for this one game on Saturday. Now, what I will say, they have a freshman QB who we can rattle. They are sloppy. I agree. One thing I will say about Texas A&M is they do have a freshman quarterback who is doing something commendable, right? So Connor Weigman has taken over the starter's job at Texas A&M. Obviously, Haynes King and Max Johnson started out. Max Johnson actually played fine for them. Max Johnson is the only reason they have an SEC win this year. But Connor Weigman's kind of taken over after Max got hurt. Haynes King is horrible. Okay. I do think when you look at someone like Connor Weigman, number one, 5-star quarterback, right? A 5-star quarterback who can flat out rip it. A 5-star quarterback who is well put together mentally, right? I've listened to some interviews this kid did. I studied him in high school. This guy took some shots. For me, I feel as if this young man is somebody that carried his high school program. I don't think the program he played at is like the most prestigious thing, and he willed them to a lot of victories. But he's yet to win a game versus a Power 5 team. And he's really only had one really good performance, and that was against Ole Miss. An Ole Miss defense that in all of their road games has been really bad. An Ole Miss defense that of the games they were playing in Texas A&M the week after they played us, back-to-back road games. Historically, defenses, no matter how good or bad you are, they fall off a cliff. Okay? But if we were to say one thing, and I know what I'm about to say is going to be a slight at Garrett Nussmeier. It is not. It is not. I know some people close to us. This is not a slight at Garrett Nussmeier. This is more so a compliment to Connor Weigman. He is burning his red shirt to play in this game. He has played in 4 games. He took over after the South Carolina game. He was sick for the Florida game. He didn't play. Playing versus LSU is burning this guy's red shirt. Remember, Texas A&M cannot go to a bowl. They are 4-7. This kid is putting the team over himself behind a bad offensive line. I commend this kid. This kid has had his brains beaten in, playing in an archaic offense that doesn't utilize pre-snap motion, that runs a lot of difficult vertical, predictable stuff. This kid is putting the team over his own personal interests. Now, it might be in his personal interest to show the team, hey, look, I am showing you that I want to be the guy. That might be what he says. Maybe he doesn't want to give Haynes King the opportunity to get the locker room back. So I give him credit. We say hi to Ed. How many Aggies go to the portal? That's a good question. Want to welcome TJ, our newest patron. We've gotten a few new patrons. Tony's been with us for a good little bit. Cameron has been with us. He's a new PHL patron as well. Glad to have TJ as a part of the Patreon as well. How many Aggies go to the portal? It's a good question, Ed. And look, this is what makes this game really fascinating. I don't think everybody's personal interest in this game for Texas A&M are at all the same, right? I talked about Connor Weigman's personal interests, putting the team ahead of himself and burning his red shirt to play in this game, right? Jimbo Fisher's personal interest is obviously to save his job. Whatever they're going to do, they'll figure it out. But the personal interest of some of these players might actually be a job interview, right? They might be saying, look, I want to play for LSU next year, okay? Now, I shared earlier, Bryce Anderson, the safety for them. It's not the DB a lot of you are interested in, nor is it Jaden Gilbert, who played at U High in Baton Rouge. He's a really good DB for them. Everybody wants Jacoby Matthews back, who's been a good player as a true freshman for Texas A&M. I think that's going to be the name that's going to be most heavily rumored. So this could be an audition. Obviously, LSU knows Jacoby Matthews probably as well as Texas A&M knows Jacoby Matthews, knowing how high of a priority Jacoby Matthews was for LSU this past cycle. So we'll see. We'll see if this is actually a thing. Right? I know Denver Harris is going to be a popular name. Obviously, we've shared his connection to LSU. That was also a guy that LSU up till the final day was really after. And then, of course, on the offensive side of the ball, there's some Louisiana guys as well, such as Le'Veon Moss from Baton Rouge, who was once an Alabama commitment, now at Texas A&M. He kind of took over that running back room last week versus UMass. So is that potentially somebody LSU looks at? It's not the running back. I'm potentially hearing could go to LSU. Obviously, we got the Derek Davis news earlier in the day, but I'll say this: LSU is very interested in getting a back in the portal. They do not know what the futures hold for everybody, honestly. Like, what does John Emery and Noah Cain do? Josh Williams looks like he's kind of our guy. I doubt Josh Williams goes to the pros, but if he has an amazing last couple of weeks here, I could see an NFL team falling in love with Josh Williams. He is in year 4. But yeah. But did somebody, Carver say, let's see, we got a few people popping in here. What did Carver say? Usually I'm teaching or having class. Oh, okay. I would have thought you would have already told me by now that you completed everything. But you don't bring this up again until you're actually done. I'm just kidding. Carvis, you need to tell Gus Malzahn to come be an offensive analyst for LSU. I mean, Gus is coached everywhere now. You guys know how much I love Gus. But yeah, that's cool. That's obviously very awesome. Sip's in here. What's up, Sip? Good to see you. Once again, powerhourlsu.com. BK is going to cross the field looking like a boss. Pied Piper, aka Eminem. Now, I love the dad joke here. Now, this looks like a job for me. So 4-8, just follow me. I could see you saying that. I freaking love it. That's great, man. Yeah, Carvis. John Tibby Butler is a longtime professor. So there you go. Dr. Durr, nice ring to it. Yeah, I don't know, Skipper. I think it's like I don't remember. Like I was so overwhelmed by all of this. I am not going to lie. So I could go look it up like after if you want me to. But yeah, I think like shipping's like $4 or something like that. I don't know. It was so freaking overwhelming for me. I'm just doing all of this. I should have just hired somebody. But then I kept getting told, don't hire somebody, just do it yourself so you can know how to do all of it. I wish I would have just hired somebody. San Diego's got a great alumni base and has a great crawfish bowl yearly. Interesting. So it looks like our good friend Creek is not coming by to share his PIEGATE story. We'll get to the bottom of it. I think Creek's going to come by at some point. But if he doesn't, we did solve PIEGATE. We solved it. Okay. So there you go. Now, a few more things here. I want to touch on what I feel is a very important question to ask, right? Does the national media like LSU? I'm serious, right? Because there was a big kerfuffle about the Stephen A thing from earlier in the year, about Brian Kelly, what he said after the Tennessee game, that the report sounded kind of weird coming out of Stephen A's mouth. Um, it was kind of strange. Normally, if I'm always very upfront. We got a super chat here from Blanche, but I'll say this really quickly before we touch on the subject here. I like the Kobe reference here. Um, when Stephen A said what he said, normally if there is really like a big time locker room revolt, or if there's a group of people that just don't like a coach or somebody powerful at LSU. I've told you a gazillion times, folks, I'm not an insider. I'm not the absolute most plugged in people. There's plenty of people that are there every single day that are way more plugged in than me. But normally I have an idea. Normally I hear something, right? And then when Stephen A said it, I was like, wait, I've not heard this at all. It just did not, there wasn't anyone that I trust with information that told me, hey, the guys don't like Brian Kelly. They're not related with, I had not heard that. And it just seemed like a lot of people wanted that to be true, just so their jokes about not being a culture fit could be true. But I remember when he said that, I was like, wait, I haven't heard any of that. I haven't heard any parent or anything mad at Brian Kelly. Now, everybody's going to have their own things to say about whatever coach, but I'm just going to be honest here. I just didn't hear anything. And then when I did some digging, I was like, hang on, everybody still likes BK. I mean, it's not. Sometimes there's a case of indifference, right? It's like some people, he's just their coach, right? It's not necessarily a thing that they just love him, their favorite coach of all time. But most people are just indifferent. They just want to do their jobs, to do what they can to go win the game, right? But overall, the national media loves LSU, right? We'll talk more about it a little bit later, but we do have some super chats to get to. Not only Blanche, we also got Trey right here celebrating the 10-win victory. Good to see you, Trey. You and your lovely daughter. I appreciate you, both of you, supporting. And I do remember this about Trey's daughter. She was the first ever Super Booger fan. I remember, holding Bug up in the air and Trey telling me, hey, my daughter loves seeing the dog. That was really cool. R.I.P. Bug. Forever in our hearts and on our wrist. That wasn't smooth at all because I'm wearing a long sleeve shirt. The new Power Hour LSU long sleeve shirt. Our new website is up, powerhourlsu.com. Get your PHL shirts now. Okay? Daniels needs to play like Kobe, distribute for the first 3 quarters and take over the game in the fourth. I like it. Honestly, Blanche, I love the Kobe reference, especially considering Jaden is from California. So obviously, Jaden, growing up, he's what, in his early 20s, and I'm in my early 30s. So I grew up with Kobe. So obviously, Jaden watched the latter years of Kobe, but he probably looks up to Kobe. I'm sure he would appreciate this. Distribute for the first 3 quarters and take over the game in the fourth. I'll say this. The distributing part of Kobe's game, sometimes that was the case. More often than not, that thing was getting chunked up. I will agree that Jaden needs to play more like Kobe in that He just needs to have a killer instinct. And I think that's the big thing, right, with Jaden Daniels. Go out there with an assassin's mindset, right? Obviously, that was kind of dark, but you get what I'm saying. Kobe, they always called him an assassin. They always called him somebody that had the killer instinct, right? And I feel like Jaden's confidence is a big part of his game, right? He needs to be somebody that goes out there and says, look, I'm going to take over this game and I'm going to play with the confidence that, yeah, I might throw an interception here or there. I just need to rip it like I did versus UAB. I need to rip it like I did versus Florida. I don't need to see the receiver wide, the open for me to throw it. I'm just going to throw it. And I think that aspect of Kobe is where he's really going to have to be his absolute best. And when the game is on the line, taking that thing over. There you go. Trey loved him some bug. So shout out to your family, Trey. Thank you so much. I also love the photo. I'll tell you this. Okay. One of my good buddies, Sean Fox, he's been on the channel before. Great radio host. He got to do an ESPN play-by-play gig recently. One thing I've always loved about Sean is he always put his daughter ahead of his profession. And he did a lot of like cheerleading kind of things, right? Like he would go watch, he would post all the time about, having to go to this cheer camp or this dance competition or whatever. So I love seeing that. All the super dads of PHL keep doing the daggum mother effing thing. You are the most important person in your children's life. Okay. Super dads and super moms, PHL, step it up. Okay. What's up, Chris? Good to see you. Happy Thanksgiving to you too, Jesse. That mama mentality, baby. So thanks to our super chatters so far, Trey, Blanche, and Ed. Very happy Thanksgiving to not only you three, but to everyone. Okay. There you go, Blanche. There you go, Skipper. I like it. Taking advantage of the Black Friday sale. There you go. I'll pull up the website. So once again, this is very simple. I'm probably going to switch some things up right here. That's it. PowerHourLSU.com. We need snow. Nice weather. Love it. Winter in the South. So there you go. Go to Cameron here. Not one media person asked how many top 10 wins USC has. They discuss their losses, but not their lack of quality wins. The good news for them, Cameron, is they do have some good games coming up, right? I think if they beat Notre Dame, I know a lot of us have our opinions of Notre Dame, but they've been really good lately. It's hard to deny that. If they beat Notre Dame and if they beat Oregon in the Pac-12 championship game, they're going to get in, right? Those are two really good wins, two top 25 wins. So yeah, I think USC's got a good argument to go in with one loss. But when you look at the combined records of opponents, LSU's combined record has obviously 10 more wins than USC's combined record, which isn't really that great from their opponents, right? USC's played a lot of bad teams this year. And one thing that has certainly been true about LSU this year is nobody, and I mean nobody, has just been awful on LSU's schedule, right? The worst team on their SEC schedule is who they play Saturday. And that's a team full of 5-stars, right? Now, did they get Arkansas with their backup quarterback? They did. And we can discuss how good the other teams are that LSU's had on their schedule. But USC doesn't have a win as good as LSU over Alabama. They just don't. USC's win was on the road. Yeah, technically, it was. But I got to be honest with you. I don't think LSU is in a spot right now where they say, okay, we're worried about everybody else, but not ourselves. Okay. And the bottom line is if we don't take care of business versus Texas A&M on Saturday, all the trash that I talked about on Tennessee fans are going to be filling my chat. Okay. This game will truly tell me if we could contend with UGA. I want to see an Ole Miss versus Fighting Some Billies type of performance. Throw it the anticipation. Guys may look covered, throw them open. Really good super chat here from Max, okay? So let's start with Jaden's throws versus Florida, okay? So you had two big ones on the first drive versus the Gators. 99% of those were on Kayshawn, right? Like Kayshawn on the first big completion on a 3rd and 8 got not only open once, but twice. Jaden hit him on the second window. Then Kayshawn split two people and fell forward for like 5 extra yards. Then there was a 3rd and 11 where Jaden threw the ball late, a knuckler, and Kayshawn caught the football while getting his helmet basically knocked off. And then we hit John Emery for a walk-in touchdown. So those early throws and Kayshawn making those big-time catches helped Jaden's confidence. And it's not a coincidence that Jaden's best games through the air happened to coincide in the games where Jaden hit some shots in the first quarter, right? And, you know, you look back at the Tennessee game, how different would the Tennessee game have been if Jaden would have hit Kayshawn in stride on a wide open slant in that game? That was essentially a 3-point play, actually a 6-point swing in theory, because they returned a punt on the next play and got him in field goal range, and they kicked a field goal to take a 10-0 lead. Yeah, Kayshawn in stride, he probably runs it down into field goal range, and instead of a 10-0 game, it's a 3-3 game, right? It's a huge swing. So, you know, those early throws are so key. It honestly will tell us a lot of how Jaden is going to perform through the air in that game. So obviously a fast start is something that's good for Jaden's confidence, and it definitely it could definitely help us. So enjoying the Wednesday night live stream, welcoming in a bunch of newbies. Emperor Pal's been at a lot of our things. Good to see you, Tyler. Tyler's thinking about going to the ATL. Jesse, I think you live in Atlanta. LSU's biggest rival could be on Saturday, honestly. Mark, good to see you. Mark made the trip to UAB all the way from Montgomery, Alabama, one of the many Montgomery Bammers. Gotta love it. Uh-oh. Y'all know this is one of the PHL OGs, man. Obviously, you know, Van and I become good friends, and I appreciate everything you've done for the channel, Van. I really appreciate it. Chris, thank you so much. You work in design, and there you go. PowerHourLSU.com. Skipper, you've been slacking, man. Why do people think USC should be ahead of LSU when USC strength of schedule is 40 and LSU strength of schedule is 8? If USC and LSU switch schedules, USC would be 7-4 and LSU would be 11-0. LSU wouldn't be 11-0 with USC schedule, right? They just wouldn't be. I do think people underestimate how hard it is to go undefeated, how much luck you got to have. We wouldn't be 11-0. Okay. Would USC be 7-4? I don't know. But I will say this to your point, Big MC. Is USC is just not really that good. The times that I've seen them, defensively, they still have issues. UCLA's offense is arguably a top 5 offense in the sport. They are really a majestic offense to watch. But they obviously have Caleb Williams. And, they've arguably got the best quarterback in the sport. And they've got Jared Addison, who might win back-to-back Biletnikoffs. So, yeah. Oh, look at this. Appreciate you, Van, as always. Thank you so much for your friendship. Thank you. Skipper says, I've been ordering my new PHL merch. Gotta love it. So there you go, Van. Appreciate you big time. You get to pick the next topic. Go right on ahead, Van. Get a few more super chats flying in here. Mark wants my score prediction. Happy Thanksgiving to you and your family. Your score prediction versus A&M. Mine's is LSU 34-17. Now it's Mark's prediction. If you're just listening to it, that is not my prediction. I'm just reading his super chat here. For me, I think LSU does win, and I do think they win handily. I just think we're going to get it checked out, Texas A&M, and yeah. So I'm going to go LSU 38, A&M 20. Why not? I don't even know if 20 is a. I don't know. Let's go to Max. If JD can do that, then we can control the line of scrimmage in the second half. If JD is tentative again, could be a very rough game. This game's huge for momentum versus Georgia. I'm going to be honest here, Max. I'll combine your question here with Van's question. Looking ahead to Georgia, is this game very dangerous? So I'll go through a few things that I've scouted with Texas A&M. Okay, let's start with the first thing. Okay, it's hard to judge want to, and I'm going to share this stat because we are approaching 100 viewers, which is honestly pretty good. I made this announcement last night that we were doing Wednesday instead of Thursday. I never thought that this would actually be a thing. I'm very blessed to get to do this, and I appreciate all the very happy Thanksgivings. It was kind of weird setting up a website, powerhourlsu.com today. I'm like, God, this is crazy. Like, I get to do this thanks to all of you tuning in to me talk about the sport that I think about nonstop. So I appreciate it. I don't take any of this for granted. Now, let me start by saying it's weird that Texas A&M is literally the only school in the SEC not playing for anything on Saturday. They are playing for nothing. Every school in the SEC, whether they play on Thursday, whether they play on Friday or Saturday, they are playing for something. They're playing for a better bowl. For us, we were playing for a potential college football playoff berth. For Vanderbilt, Auburn, and who else? Missouri. They're playing for bowl eligibility. Texas A&M is the only school that cannot be bowl eligible on Saturday. And it is true that if Vanderbilt, Vanderbilt, Missouri, and Auburn all pull off massive upsets, all of them are going bowling, and Texas A&M will be the only school that will not go to a bowl this year in the SEC. So A&M quite literally is the only school where Saturday is their final game. It's over. Okay. So for me, you could take that two different ways. A&M's going to go out swinging. They remembered what happened last year. They saw how hungry we played. Or they have already started to think about what's next for them. Now, let me ask you this, okay? Oh, thank you, Cameron. I appreciate that. Let me ask Van this. Let me ask you guys this, okay? I know that a lot of you are wondering, will Texas A&M come out playing hard on Saturday? Kind of like we did last year, all right? And the answer to that is maybe. It's hard to judge the motives of 17 to 22-year-old individuals. It's really hard. But the truth is, last year, LSU did have something to play for. The coach that won LSU a national championship was playing in objectively his final game. They did have some success. They were playing for bowl eligibility. Okay. I do think the scenarios are different. A lot of people have equated where Texas A&M was to where we were last year. And honestly, we're playing for something bigger than Texas A&M was playing for last year. Texas A&M is in a really bad spot. I just have a tough time believing. I know college football is wacky. I have a tough time believing that I could rationally look into all 116 of you. And when I do these live streams, I try my best to think of you sitting in front of me or next to me. I try and make it as conversational as I possibly can be. I cannot tell you that a team that struggled last week against UMass, and I don't care if Achain wasn't playing, I don't care if Evan Stewart wasn't playing. I don't think there is a team in the SEC that would have struggled with UMass last week. UMass is so bad. They are so bad. They were in a dogfight versus them last week. And I know it was wet. I know it was rainy. I just have a tough time seeing this game being competitive. I know that they have great athletes. I know we're only favored by 10. I know that there is a burgeoning rivalry between these two schools. I'm just saying when I watch them, it kind of feels like it's a bunch of individuals playing not necessarily for themselves, but not playing together, right? And that has as much to do with coaching as it does the players themselves, right? And Jimbo's inability to become more modern. One thing I found to be very interesting, and I hope Jimbo's not watching this, was Connor Weigman had his best game versus Ole Miss, and they did a lot of RPO-ish kind of things. They played a little bit quicker to make it easier. Now they're asking a true freshman quarterback to make full field reads behind a bad offensive line. It's a disaster waiting to happen. So yeah, I have a tough. I just do. I know I shouldn't be saying that. I know I should be saying, hey, this going to be a close game. I don't know. I just don't know. A&M's secondary is really special. They got a really good secondary. They tackle well. They play physical. They do communicate well. They're kind of experienced in some spots there. 27 for them is going to play in the NFL for a long time. They've got a lot of guys that are going to get drafted. That doesn't mean you're good. Okay? Doesn't mean you're good. I don't think we just run over them. But I do think this could be a scenario where A&M is just nowhere to be found, right? So, when I look at, Van's question, looking ahead to Georgia, I think a worse look ahead spot would have been UAB, right? They do have an offensive identity. And A&M really doesn't. Like, it feels like when I watch them play, they just try and just figure it out, right? Um, so yeah, I think for me, the big thing, Van, is going to be, will LSU stay focused versus Texas A&M? I believe they will. I do. I really, really do. You're naked. Don't sit to you next to you. Okay, I won't do that. Huh? 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 Um, the thing that you don't know, EF, is that I'm naked. I'm just wearing the shirt, the new PHL shirt. It's so comfortable. I was like, I don't need anything else other than the hat, and some bands. So from here down, I'm like, I don't need anything else. This shirt is so comfortable. It's all I need in my life. That's all I need to get them. Now, if that doesn't sell shirts, sex sells. Ha, ha, ha. I appreciate you, Joshua. Thank you so much. Remember that time I blocked music? Yeah, I don't know how to unblock people. I kind of want to unblock music. I will say this, because Van super chatted, I'll bring up the blocking of music. Number one, that is such a random name. What's my username on YouTube going to be? Okay, let's let it be something that everybody loves. Okay, music, right? I should go on make a Spotify account. What's my username going to be? Sports. My username is sports. But no, so I blocked him. And honestly, the take, I don't remember what his take was. It was some kind of Ricky Collins troll thing or something. Um, but what was really interesting was the one take that I got sick and tired of him. And music, if you're watching this on a burner account, that's perfectly fine. But I'll just say it anyway, because I do know I have blocked someone before, and they did make a burner account just to watch me again. I know who you are, but if you're watching, who cares? You're watching. Good. Um, the take that just drove me wild during the coaching search was music would spam my chat with LSU Urban Meyer. We should go get Urban Meyer. I was so close to blocking him then. It's one thing if you bring it up once or twice, but every stream, Urban Meyer, every stream, Urban Meyer. Did you not see he was grinding on 26-year-old blonde girls named Lucy? Uh, not only was he was grinding on his own in a bar that he owned. There's, I believe, pictures of his wife in the bar. And he didn't fly back with the team. And you wanted that guy to run your program? Really? So that was a funny thing. I almost blocked him then because he kept saying, I was like, that's dumb. That's probably the worst person we could hire right now. Because always remember this. Always remember this. Okay. The worst thing in life isn't somebody who's bad, right? Chad Morris was a bad coach at Arkansas. At least Arkansas knew he was bad. The worst thing is when you think you're hiring somebody's good, but he really is bad. And that's Urban Meyer. If Nebraska wants to go hire Urban Meyer, go right on ahead. I'd kind of like that. Auburn, if you want to go hire Urban Meyer, go right on ahead. I don't want him anywhere close to the program that I love. And look, I will say this. Peak Urban Meyer versus peak Saban, it's closer than what the experts think. Go look at their head-to-head records. Heck, Urban Meyer beat Saban when he was at freaking Utah. I was at that Sugar Bowl when he was at Utah. But yeah. It's almost blocked him then. But I actually like music. Something else that's interesting is Darren Reed to Auburn. I don't want to talk about that. You guys know I have I love me some Darren Reed. Don't talk about Urban grinding. Huh? I won't. I know we're a family-friendly show. But it is what happened. Just don't sniff his fingers. I'm just saying. Who are your choices for offensive and defensive standouts this week for the Tigers? It's a good question, Bruce. Let's go straight to it. Bruce has been a longtime supporter of mine. I appreciate you. I hope you're having a wonderful Thanksgiving, Bruce. And I'm just going to say this as well. One thing that helps you not getting blocked is if your photo is actually of something, whether it's your dog, whether it's an LSU something. Obviously, my best photos, my favorite photos are people rocking PHL gear or people at LSU games, right? It's also easier from where I'm sitting when I'm reading 1,000 comments and the same letters have the same avatars. Okay. Offensive and defensive standouts this week for the Tigers. So we've not talked about Harold Perkins, and obviously this game is personal for a lot of different reasons, right? I think obviously A&M feels some type of way about Perk flipping to LSU when the truth is him committing to Texas A&M was just fulfilling an obligation to announce at the bowl game. He wasn't done. He said it in the announcement. And I've had A&M people get mad at me saying, you say that you thought that he wasn't fully committed to us. I said it at the time. I'm not giving up on it. Get into a whole spiel about this again. But if you just listen to his announcement at the bowl game, he did say he was still going to make other official visits. And that tells you everything you need to know. He was just committing just to commit. Okay. So obviously, Perk has been our best defensive player in almost every game that he's played. We're still undefeated in games where he is a feature of our defense. So you can always pick Harold Perkins. It's going to be interesting, Bruce. I think the one player that I'm going to keep an eye on is Greg Penn. 2 consecutive games where he was as good, if not better, than Baskerville, which is rare. Mike has been our best linebacker, and he's been carrying a lot of the off-ball linebacker duties for us this year. Greg's played a lot. These last 2 games were like, okay, this guy is moving closer to, like a Jacob Phillips, Kendall Beckwith level linebacker, like a really solid starter. So Greg Penn, somebody I'm going to keep an eye out for in this game. Obviously, their offense changes so much if Achane and Evan Stewart are playing. So, yeah, so I'm going to go Greg Penn on defense. Also thought Bruce Ali Gay had one of his better games. Obviously, he was very motivated, his family, really getting to see him for the first time in person. I thought that was really cool. So let's go with those 3. Now on the offensive side of the football, obviously, I don't include quarterbacks in these kind of questions because every answer to that is Jaden. So I'm going to give Noah Kane some love here. Look, Noah's played really well for us, and now Goodwin's out of the picture. John is going to be buried in the depth chart. Josh probably they want to make sure he is fully healthy and ready to go for Georgia. I think Noah's going to get a lot of run here. And then obviously Kayshawn, right? What's his status? Is he fully ready to go? Sickness and all of that. So we'll see with that. So those are going to be my picks right there. Premium content. Gotta pay for that. I don't understand. This new merch stuff I'm doing is just a gateway to see if I need to start the PHL OnlyFans. Just saying. Okay. Just saying. I I can't, Max. Max Max has been rock with me. I think I'm trying. I wonder if there's a way I can go back to see who's been like one of my longest time subscribers, right? Max is definitely in the top 50, right? Like first 50 subscribers. Man, I was so wrong about my Mohampton take. So wrong. I thought he was special. Now, in my defense, I wasn't the only one. I miss. I said on my latest podcast, I like admitting when I'm wrong more than when I'm right. I actually get a rush out of it. I feel like all media members should be held accountable. I do. I was wrong about that. Now, while Mo was bad, going from Dave Aranda to whatever the heck we did with Bo Pelini is like, well, you insert the comparison. It's like watching Godfather and then watching Giggly. It's like driving a Ferrari and then getting into insert bad car name. Actually, I don't have a car, so any car would be good at this point. But that scheme was so bad, and Mo was in some really bad spots. So I'm going to defend Mo a little bit, but, I was wrong. Okay? I was wrong about that. So, Max, I'm going to defend you. Okay? Geely. So we're talking about the same movie, right? We're talking about the movie that everyone says it's an all-time bad one with J-Lo. Who was it? It was J-Lo. Wait, it was Bennifer, right? It was Ben Affleck and J-Lo. So Van wants to talk recruiting. It is still his super chat. TJ, our newest patron. There potential for A&M to become our biggest rival? There is potential. Okay, let's talk recruiting. Obviously, I'm not the only guy that follows recruiting. You guys know Chris follows it really closely. I'll share a few things about recruiting that I've kept an eye on for recently. Okay, let's start with the first, is that there's going to be decommitments. I do think there will be more players returning to LSU next year than what initially was thought. I don't think that has as big of an effect on recruiting as some of these other things. I shared a few weeks ago, I was a little cryptic about it, but now some more premium recruiting reporters are reporting that, there are some DBs that may be going elsewhere. I normally let kids do what they want to do. Like, I don't like saying, hey, this kid, because then everybody will come at you and say, you're the one that pushed him out because you said that he was going here. There's a reason why I don't do that all that often. Okay. Chris is really plugged in, and he'll back this up here. But I think Dalen Austin is going to be really tough for us to hold on to here at the end. He's a really good corner out of California. Okay. There are some others, including one guy that's a little bit higher on my board than would be on other people's boards that was mentioned a little bit earlier in this live stream. But honestly, right now, Van, recruiting is going really well. You have a top 5 national class. Ultimately, that's all you can ask for. And I will go one step further here. I don't think there is a bona fide player in this class that I will have as highly rated as Emory Jones and Harold Perkins. I'm just being honest. I have a ton of receipts on both of those guys and how highly I thought of them. And I have a ton of notes and tons of videos on this. That doesn't mean I don't think there will not be any special players in this class. I think Shelton Sampson's going to be really good. You guys know I love me some Kyle Parker, the wide receiver out of Texas that's committed. And honestly, the offensive line recruiting has been phenomenal. And I don't think they're done yet. Let me just put that out there. I don't think they're done yet. I think, well, I won't go that far, but I think they'll try and get somebody else there. The likelihood of that is still, we'll see. Oh, look at this. John Sibley Butler. But just understand that Kyle Parker is going to be big, big, big. I love that kid. I love him. I really, really, really do. Might not be a year one kind of thing, especially considering how backlogged we are at wide receiver. But Kyle can play. He's got some wiggle. I know Deshaun Womack is out of Maryland, is somebody that a lot of people are trying to poach. Out of any of the LSU commitments, none have shot up the board like Deshaun Womack. Really talented defensive line prospect. I think he's really solid. I do. And yeah. But we'll see. We'll see. But as far as this class is concerned, Ashton Stamps has had a really good year of high school football. He really relishes competition, and there we go. So we'll touch back into recruiting. Let's get into John Sibley Butler. You guys know how much John Sibley Butler means to me. This guy has been a mentor. He's sent me a bunch of cool emails. He sent an email and included me with some pretty cool people from a pretty big organization. That's obviously really cool. So yeah, we appreciate you, John Sibley, not only for you supporting the channel, but also what you've done for Baton Rouge, and it's so cool. Texas A&M will have a packed stadium, and their freshman QB has energized the Aggie Nation. Don't you think that this will be a completely different Aggie team? This is their first game of next season. As generous as this super chat was, I don't know if the team feels the same way, right? Because I do think there's some players that are checked out. Obviously, if you're a younger player, you're going to be more checked out than maybe some of the older players. It's going to be senior night for a lot of them. So there you go. I do think one thing's very interesting. The biggest wild card that no one else is mentioning, and I tweeted this out earlier today, is Connor Weigman and we brought this up earlier in the live stream. Connor Weigman is doing the opposite of Garrett Nussmeier. Okay. Connor Weigman is deciding to burn his red shirt to play this game. This is his 5th game of the year. Okay. He is a pure pocket quarterback. He did run quite a bit last week versus UMass, but mostly is a pure pocket quarterback who's got a rifle, okay? But his offensive line sucks. The passing concepts can be very complicated for Texas A&M. They're kind of like the concepts that we ran versus Tennessee, which is very, hey, we need you to beat your man in front of you kind of concepts, which is hard, right? So yeah, I think, for me, John Sibley, I understand that there is a big narrative out there that A&M is going to come together and play really hard. And there's a tweet from Edgerrin Cooper, the kid from I believe Covington, who tweeted out, we're gonna urinate in their cornflakes, and he's not the only one who has said that phrase. I mean, they've just been so bad. They have been so bad. The Auburn game was a disaster. I know the score looked close. They were a disaster. And yes, they're going to be at home. And yes, relatively speaking, their offense has performed better at home. That's always been a Jimbo thing. But man, I just don't know Johnson. I just have a tough time, and I know you more than anybody else on this channel wants to be Texas A&M. You're an LSU fan, and you're based in Austin, Texas, and you're a professor at Texas. You want LSU to blow the brakes off of them. So it is good to see that you more than anyone else wants to see us blow the brakes off of Texas A&M. It's going to be tough though. It's going to be tough. Now, I will say this. Okay. I'll touch on this. Once again, newest patron, EJ. Love it. What happened today is a sign that Texas and Texas A&M needs to play again. So every year A&M does a bonfire, right? They canceled it this year because the weather's going to be bad on Friday. And there's a history behind it. One that's very dark and sad. I won't get into that, but their students, this was actually pretty cool. They rallied around to start up the bonfire tradition again. And at the top of the bonfire, it's a sign that says like Austin or something like that. And this year they didn't have the bonfire. And right now, a big discussion in the SEC is who should play who every year and what kind of schedule format should we have. I do think A&M and Texas don't want to play each other every year. I don't know exactly why that's the case. They just don't. I've always heard that. I think the opposite should be true. I might just have bad information. Maybe they're changing their minds, but Texas and Texas A&M need to be rivals. They need to play each other every year. I don't care about LSU A&M. I just don't. Like, it's an interesting rivalry because, Jimbo's nephew punched an LSU coach with Parkinson's, and that was the 8 overtime game, and that was obviously BS, right? That added some juice to it, but really it's not. There haven't really been any legendary games between us. It's just not really a thing for me. Texas and Texas A&M need to be a rival, and they need to play each other every year, and they need to play each other the week of Thanksgiving. I don't mind if we lose this game during the Thanksgiving week. I just don't. I think it's one of those things that's just kind of being forced, right? Yes, we had the memorable ending last year in the game, and we had the 8 overtime game. It just I don't know. I don't know. It's a good question here with the portal opening December 5th. Should high school players commit now and secure a spot? It's a good question. Okay. So let's start off with this. Bruce, one thing that I was totally wrong about, and I wasn't totally wrong about this, but one thing I thought would happen with name, image, and likeness was I thought more high school players would wait to commit. But what I saw happen was players actually committed at about the same time as they normally commit, right? Most of the top 100 players were committed before their senior high school season. Now, quarterbacks have to commit earlier for different reasons. So let's exclude quarterbacks out of this discussion, okay? Should high school players commit now and secure a spot? Yes, you should. But the opposite could also be true as well. You could commit and coaches still go in the portal and get guys. And what I think's going to happen, Bruce, and I'm really glad you brought this up, and I promise I won't go too deep into this because obviously, when the season's over, we go into recruiting mode, right? It's just how it is. I will touch on this more then than now, but speaking to industry sources, and there was a really good article written by Tom Van Haren of ESPN, okay, covers recruiting. But speaking to people who write in the recruiting industry, speaking to personnel people that I know at different SEC schools, they do feel that high school kids are about to get screwed. And what I mean by that is, so the way it works now is nothing is guaranteed. It never is. Your scholarship's never guaranteed until you sign on the dotted line. And more often than not, it's a 1-year contract. So they can process you. What I think is going to happen, Bruce, is more kids are going to get processed now more than ever before. And the reason is because there's no limits, right? You can sign as many high school kids as you want, and you can bring in as many transfer kids as you want. And kids are going to be flying off the shelves pretty quickly during this process. So what's going to happen? Well, if you're a high school kid and you've been committed at a school for a long period of time, let's just say there's an influx of guys that are entering the portal and a lot of them play DB. And let's just say I'm Arkansas. I'm losing a lot of my DBs this year. I got a bunch of high school 3-stars that are coming to my school. The likelihood that they're going to be SEC level players is very low. Do I take this 3-star kid or do I take Dwight McGlothern? Well, you take Dwight McGlothern. Do I take this 3-star kid or do I take Jarek Bernard Converse? Well, I want to make room. If Jarek Bernard Converse wants to come here, you better believe I want a big-time all Big 12 corner at my school. There's going to be more high school kids that are going to get the short end of the stick, especially this first year. Because, now that we have these transfer portal windows, it could get Wild Wild West, Jim West, Desperado, Rough Riders, you don't want nada. It could get Will Smith, Wild Wild West out here. I know I didn't say all the lyrics correctly there, but I do miss the rodeo burgers. They're still up, though. You can still get a rodeo burgers. Sipper, good to see you. Always remember, dad duty is the most important duty. Mickens is on flip watch to Ohio State. Am I tripping, Tari? Oh, no. Edgerrin Cooper did say cornflakes. He did. Feel pretty good about Desmond Ricks. All right. Now, the only thing that I love more than Desmond Ricks eventually committing to LSU, there's not a lot of things I love more than that. A 5-star corner eventually committing to LSU. There she is. You had it typed in your phone, ready to press in. We've been waiting for LA Mom Simper to get her W back, to get her crown back. I'm telling you, you guys know LA Mom will fist fight for this crown right here. Press the Collection and PressTheCollection.com. There she is. It is a holiday season. Once again, I got my new merch for sale, but if you really want to make the Mrs. or Mr. in your life happy, get some of that bling bling, baby. Presley Collection, PresleyCollection.com. Tony won it yesterday. Tony the Tiger won it yesterday, but you didn't win it today, Tony. You guys know I love my hey more than life itself. Okay. So, I'm just going to let that ring do the talking. You guys saw it. You would be shocked at how low you can go with the Presley Collection, PresleyCollection.com. Now, I can bring Haley in here right now. She gets stopped all the time. Where did you get that? Where did he get that? Pressy Collection, pressycollection.com. Simper's won it quite a few times. Now, Tony, look, Tony, I take this comment as Tony taking it easy on ULA mom. Honestly, I take it as that. Tony was like, I'm going to let LA mom win. I see what you're doing, Tony. LA mom quicker than Perk 40. Look, if you want, look, I'm just gonna say it, okay? That's Branson Cat after the Bama game. As you can see, Perk's got the bling bling. If you want teeth like that, I guarantee you Star Pressy could do it. Now, we haven't covered that yet, but I'm sure he knows how to do it. And he knows how to do everything. Like I'm serious. Like he broke it all down for me, like how like the diamonds, how all of it works. And it was crazy. Skipper, you lost tonight. It's you pulled a Baja, man, and you missed out on this one. Now that was a dad joke. That was a dad joke. I'm not even going to explain that joke because the people that got that joke felt it in the bottom of their heart. You felt that. I don't know if anybody got that joke. I know we always do the Who Mike Jones joke, but the original Who song was by the Baja Man. Nebraska needs to go back to the Big 12 so they can be relevant again. I don't think changing conferences is going to really do a whole lot. I did. It's not Bill Burr, I'll tell you that. One of the hard things in comedy, one of the venues I used to do comedy actually shut down today. It's one of the hardest things about it. It's like a lot of venues are just, a lot of things are closed down. It's good news. Sean Womack. Max, you like Womack too? I like it. I know my homie Blake is super high on Womack. Well, I have a different colorways. So no one got that joke. I guess that this is a failed society. That was the biggest song on the freaking planet. Do I really have to explain this joke? The Baja Man joke. Can't play the song. Thank you, Joshua. Thank you. Joshua's like, I have to explain it for everybody so we can move on with the chat. This does to be a comedian. A comedian. Matching hat and sweatshirt, baby. Once again, I got that very special card just for you, Simper. I'm not going to give it to anybody else. And I'm serious. It's one of my favorite cards, but I'm sending it to you. When you know what happens. I get it. Now, this is funny. LOL. Bah ha ha. I see what you did there. I love it. There's an injury lawyer named Womack that may be interested in doing an NIL deal with Deshaun if he winds up on campus. We'll tell that injury lawyer to hit me up. Cameron Gannon. I love it. Big Al, go to patreon.com/LSU football. Sign up for one of the tiers and we'll get you in there, man. Coming with it, bro. Just got to make sure I got, yeah, I'm telling you. Do you want me to show you? I can actually, I got it right here. But I'm saving, for those who don't know, it's a Walker Howard autograph that I have. I'm saving it for Simper because he would used to go see Walker Howard play in person. So I feel like that's somebody who deserves that card. Who do I think's leaving LSU? So I'll answer this question the same way I always answer it. I mean, obviously, I have some thoughts on who specifically. I do think that's a very personal thing, and like, it's a little bit different. Like if you talk about like Garrett Nussmeier because he is a quarterback and that is such like a high profile player. But even then, like I don't like speculating on who leaves, and it's not like me protecting LSU kind of thing. It's just there's so many different factors. Like for instance, Joshua, excuse me. Let's say Derek Davis Jr. Okay, 2 weeks ago, we would have thought, okay, gazillion %, it's not worked out for him at safety. Yeah, we're loaded at safety. We got a bunch of DBs coming in. We're going to get in the portal. But next thing you know, he's playing running back. And we got a plan for him at running back. We've already said we're going to redshirt him. So there's so many things that can happen from now until the end of the year that it's just hard for me to say who's going to go into the portal. Now, there's some guys I know that will go in just because it's just not working out for whatever reason. But it's also deeply personal, and I do think like if somebody from LSU is willing to dress out and go through everything you need to go through to be a player here, let them make their decisions. Now, if I do hear something about player X is interested going to school Y, I'll share it. But at this point, especially considering the players are really bought in on this playoff run, well, we don't know. Put the Womack on him. I love it. Everybody, welcome to Silver Charm. Is it true Hurd, Womack, and Sampson all received their 5th star for on 3 only? Yeah, I saw that. It's interesting. I will say the on 3 services are higher on LSU's recruits than the other services. Dylan Carpenter. There you go. Yeah, on three actually loves LSU guys. I know you guys don't like 247. Absolute Zima. Ha ha ha. Wednesday live stream polls. 92% of you say you like the Wednesday live stream. Okay. Before I get to a few more questions here, I'm going to drop a quick spot and put up a new poll question. Golden Boo was good. It's the Kata. Yeah, one of my really good friends writes for them. One of my really good friends from college. We're still friends now, but he was one of my best buddies in college. And yeah, I like 247. I'm still reading their stuff all the time. I also like On Three. I like a lot of the things that On Three does, and Rivals will always be like the OG one. But yeah, I like all of them. I really do. Like I really don't have anything like too negative to say about any of them. I also think a lot of like the recruiting rankings, they get it mostly right. They do. And stars on a whole matter. They don't matter individually to a player, but they do on the whole matter. Um, so yeah, they mostly get it right. So yeah, I'm curious. New poll questions up. Which service do you actually like the best? Wait, if you start the Wednesday night at this time, I could catch it when I leave the bowling alley. And I love that you included the bowl emoji. I love it. I freaking love it. I love that you included the bowling emoji. You typed out bowling alley and then you put the bowling emoji for the extra emphasis. I love it. So, do you still use bumpers? I'm kidding. I would need the bumpers. The one thing about bumpers, so like when you're little, they would put the little bumpers on the side so you couldn't get a gutter ball. That doesn't teach you about life, because life is full of gutter balls. There's not always going to be some guardrails along the side. League nights. I love it. Huh? Huh? Ah. I love bowling. I just do. Like I suck at it, but man, I love bowling. I really, really do. Ha ha ha. Man, that's so funny. So freaking funny. Tuesday and Wednesday are league nights. Any hobby that has a just league. It's not that there's not a name to it. It's a league, right? And the way they describe the NBA, you made it to the league. Master Blaster, you did not bowl a 298. Let me text Jay Hill right now. I'm gonna ask Jay Hill, do you believe I just texted Jay Hill. Master Blaster says he once bowled a 298. Do you believe him? So I'm gonna let Jay Hill respond to this. Because I don't know if I actually believe you bowled a 298. 298 is a really good score. Okay. Thank you, Caleb. Now that was corny, but not as corny as Master Blaster claiming that he bowled a 298. Okay. Were you bowling? I don't know, Master. Please tell me you have one of these. Like I'm picturing Big Lebowski. Please tell me you have one of these like bowling shirts, and on the back it says Master Blaster. Please tell me, because that actually would kind of describe the Master Blaster nickname. You've been bowling since 03? You've been bowling since the Saban regime. Like that's okay. Now I believe you a little bit. Like I'd have to think like all the times you've been bowling. So since league nights, since league nights are Tuesday and Wednesday, there are 52 weeks in a year. So 03 to now, okay, 52. Okay, let's do a quick math here. So 52 times or 52 weeks in a year. You've bowled twice a week. Okay. So that's 104 times. Okay. Write that down. So that's 104 nights you've been bowling. And normally you bowl what, like 2 games a night? So times 2. Okay. What is that? Bad at math. So 208. So you bowled 208 games a year. Okay. So 208 times what's 2003 to now 2022. So roughly 19 years. Okay. So 203 times 19. That means you have bowled 3,857 games. Okay. So do I believe that in one of those 300 or 3,857 games since 03? But my reasoning is flawed because I'm sure the first 2 years you weren't all that great. So let's take out what? Roughly 800 games. So you being a good bowler after 2 years, you've bowled about 3,000 games. Do I believe you shot 298 one time? Okay. Chris, how do you know this? Do you bowl as well, Chris? Chris, I'll tell you. 3 games. Okay, so God dog it. Now I got to redo this whole math. Why did you not freaking tell me this? I graduated with a 2.7 GPA from LSU's journalism school. I am not good at math. So let's do this. You do roughly 3. How did you know 33 weeks? Okay. How do you know that? That's crazy. All right, so 3 games for 33 weeks. Okay. So what is that? And you bowl on Mondays and Tuesdays. So that's 99 times 2. Okay. No, I'm not going to quit mathing, Jared. 198. So 198 games per year. Okay. So times 17, because the first 2 years you're probably not bowling like 270 and up. Okay. So let's do 198 games times 17. Okay. All right. 3,366 games. Okay. So do I believe that in one game you bowl 298? So is it true? Someone explain the rules of bowling to me. In order for you to bowl 298, that means there were 2 pins left in the final stanza, if you will. Right? What the heck? Okay. So in order to bowl a 300, you got to get a strike every single time. So on the final roll, you only got 8 of the 10 pins. Because I've never heard somebody scoring a 298. Right? Normally it's like 300 or like 260 or something like that. What do the pros score on average? What? They have the different oil patterns, right? And I know like the different oil patterns have like different names. I know one of the more difficult oil patterns in bowling is what? The cheetah oil pattern, right? is is that right? I'm just making stuff up. I didn't even wait, Tony's a bowler too? Those are the old patterns, right? I just remember watching a PBA thing and they said the oil pattern is a cheetah oil pattern. And I'm like, who came up with the names of these oil patterns? Like, how did why didn't they just name them like after numbers? But no, we're gonna name them after exotic animals. Emperor, I'm starting to get a little annoyed with you. Not gonna lie, you got the letter Avatar, and you bring up to Tony that he choked. Really? You bring that? We're not even talking about professional athletes. It's one thing if we're talking about Tennessee versus South Carolina. It's another thing we're talking about just a human, right? Like someone who just bowls in a rec league. And you say, you don't you think the master blaster thinks about those final 2 pins every single day he goes to a bowling alley? And we have Emperor Pow here saying, so you so you choked. Like as if he's talking to Steph Curry blowing a 3-1 lead to LeBron. Oh my god. So cheetah is an actual pattern. I was kidding. I didn't make it up. Uh I remember seeing a show or watching Pete Weber late at night, and I saw it said oil pattern and it said cheetah, and I was like, "What the alien? What does a cheetah have to do with bowling?" Then Emperor's like, "Dang, that must have sucked." Yeah. No, you know what? I know the Master Blaster has seen it all. But don't you think he thinks about those final two bits? So what happened? Now that it's brought up, I've got to know what happened on the final two pins. Legend has it before the final frame, LeBron tapped Tony on the shoulder and told him, "If you missed this, you're perfect." I could tell Pierce is very online. That LeBron meme is all time. And how he perfectly predicts every huh? 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 That's so freaking funny. Oh man, that's so freaking funny. I love it. This live stream has been something. What a day. Type Y for yes, type N for no. Oh, LSU played K State tonight in basketball. And got robbed. Man, did this? I'm telling you, um, if I could make one admission really quickly, okay. The weirdest discourse surrounding any one NFL quarterback has been Zach Wilson this year. Okay. So here's a guy who allegedly made love to one of his mother's best friends. Okay. Um, or somebody, I don't know. And everybody just fell in love with this guy. He was backed up by a Super Bowl winning quarterback, Joe Flacco. He was okay. I don't know what happened to Joe Flacco. I really don't. Now they bench him because he said that the loss last week wasn't his fault when he threw for 70 yards. And as a QB, you always take the blame. And now you have all these analysts trying to defend Zach Wilson. Okay. And look, I'm a film guy, and the film doesn't always share the full story. But then I see this take that Chris Sims said when Zach Wilson was coming out, that Zach Wilson was going to be better than Joe Burrow. And I was like, I've had bad takes. I thought Mo Hampton was going to be the next Grant Delpit, as Max brought up earlier. But why are all these people defending Zach Wilson? I understand defending a bad take, but it just seems like there's a lot of people defending this guy. Why? He wasn't unbelievable in college. And I'm not going to lie, I bought into the Zach Wilson hype, especially when guys like Tony Romo were saying, hey, Zach Wilson's going to be great. But he sucks. He just sucks. Like, I don't, it's not like he doesn't have weapons to throw to. He just sucks. I mean, there's just no other way around. He's dog water. He sucks. What's up, Jordan's parents? I will go to the grave saying Bryce Young is good. So what happened? Golden boot or how? Explain it to me. But I see RG3 backing up Zach Wilson. See Chris Sims doing it. QB School's doing it as well. And he knows more about quarterback play than anybody. I don't know. Maybe I need to watch more Jets football. And yes, he went up against Belichick, and Belichick is notorious for eating alive young quarterbacks. So maybe we're a little too hard on Zach Wilson. But I just think he sucks. I just think he sucks. Okay. So they didn't start the clock. Hal's a big LSU basketball fan. So I'm going to trust him on this. Clock issue, yes. Cost us time, no. They didn't start the clock in time when we inbounded the ball. We were almost half court before they started the clock. John Emery video. That's good. Carter, we were down 2 with 5 seconds left. We got the ball in. Hannibal drove, hit the shot, and you hear the buzzer go off. They review it. The clock did not start when it needed to start, and we would have not gotten the shot off in time. Interesting. I guess I just need to watch it. Let me let me see if I can pull up a clip for this. Jordan, I'm about to send you a clip on Twitter. All right, so you are you're Baton Rouge. Carter, here in Albuquerque with my parents are Baton Rouge visiting for Thanksgiving. So does anybody have their Thanksgiving spread like already out? I kind of want to see what you guys are eating. So I'll send you an invite link right now because I love food. I'll send you an invite link right now if you could show me your spread. You might not have the food set up the night before, but some of you might have it laid out, and then you're getting ready to store it into the fridge. So this is my thing, right? So Golden Boot and I, we agree on quite a bit. Now, I don't know if this is Ant or Pooh Bear, either or D-Dub. Judging by what Hal said, I do think you need to replay it, right? Even though while you're playing, you're not necessarily knowing what the clock says. Still, normally when you get the ball, you peek to see the clock. Oh, you got it? So you're making bread pudding? So, Jordan, I'm about to send you an invite link. Okay. And 100 people are about to see your bread pudding. I'm actually a huge bread pudding fan. Jordan, are you willing to join this live stream? I'll send you a link. You could use your phone. Type Y for yes, type in for no, folks, if you want to see Jordan's bread pudding. Okay. Boiled crawfish. I would hope so. I have your consent. All right. So looks like. All right, Jordan, here's the thing. No cursing, no political imagery, none of this. No funky business. Make sure you have clothes on. I also don't want to see feet. I can't look at other people's feet. I have no idea why I'm doing this. I could ruin my entire channel here. I think I know Jordan pretty well. So let's do it. All right. If not, I'm going to send it to Golden Boot Pod because, well, I know they got good food. And I could trust them. They know how this stuff works. They use StreamYard. So let me see. Jordan. Let me see if I can find you in here. I don't know. I know you've DM'd me a bunch on Twitter.com. Heck, I'm about to find your DMs. I don't know why it's not pulling up. Let me see. I might have to just send this to Pooh Bear. Jordan, you DM me all the time. How can I not find your thing? All right, Jordan, you're gonna have to DM me on Twitter. Yeah, for some reason I can't find your name in there. Elon kicked you off? Okay. Well, oh no, I have your email, so I'll just email it to you. I have no idea why I'm doing this. All right. Okay, yeah, I got you. I'm sending you the link. It's gonna I'm emailing it to you right now. Okay. We want to see this bread pudding. Oh, white chocolate bread pudding and crawfish and cornbread dressing. We got to see all this. Okay. So y'all aren't cooking yet, PB? I love me some Pooh Bear, man. Call Elon. Tell Elon to sponsor me. I just find it. I know Tyler and Pierce. I've gotten to know both of them pretty well. I think both of them are bigger foodies than me, right? Tyler was the guy, and I'm going to be honest here, Tyler. I want you to hold me accountable for this. I'm kind of mad that Creek did not join our live stream tonight. We spent 30 minutes last night trying to get him a sweet potato pie. I texted JJ for the first time in months. One of our PHLers got engaged, life busy. I messaged Tyler. I said, Tyler, we got to find a fellow PHLer in Shreveport a pie. Just for Creek to message me this morning and say, I found my pie. And I was like, okay, we'll see you tonight. I even put his name in the title of the video. I've never done that. I never do that. And Creek doesn't show up tonight. I'm ashamed of Creek. So y'all make sure I bring that back up. I'm not happy at Creek. We quite literally spent 30 minutes trying to find this guy a pie. 30 minutes? Okay, so John simply does not want to see Jordan's bread pudding. Jordan, I emailed you the link. It better be worth it. I am not here. Yeah, you guys know John Sibley Butler. He's a good test for everything PHL. He found one. He sent me an email this morning. Hey, I found a pie. He said his wife went out and found it. Believe it or not. And he was saying last night, the pie's not for my wife. It's only for me. So yeah, let me see while we get this set up here with Jordan. Let me see LSU. I guess a lot of people had issues. Where are they playing? Oh, I see. Okay. I didn't start it until he was at mid-court. Oh, no. You've got to replay that. Now that I've seen it, you have got to replay that. Oh my God. That's oh no. That's garbage. That's that's garbage. That is so much garbage. That is so much garbage. Because it's one thing if it was like a half court heave or if there was only like 2 seconds left. But there was 4 seconds. Okay, 4.5 or whatever. He definitely, while driving to the rack, could peek at the clock and see how much time. If he would have saw that the clock was down, maybe he pulls up for 3 instead. Maybe he pulls up for a 2-pointer. the fact that they say, look, they subjectively, so they didn't replay it. Just for clarity, they did not replay the play. They didn't do it. Okay. I guess they didn't replay it. You've got to replay it. You can't just say the game is over. That's that. I don't care if that's the right rule. I don't care that the clock operator made a mistake. You have got to replay the play. Okay? Because that does affect the player. He doesn't know. He doesn't know that the clock started late. It would be different if it was like one of those situations where there's like 0.3 left on the clock and you can't like just time it absolutely perfect. And maybe we just need to, I don't know. Maybe we just need to go to the Elam ending anyway, where we don't have to worry about a clock at the end of the game. I sometimes wonder if we just need to move to an Elam ending in a lot of different sports. Obviously, you couldn't do it in like soccer or hockey, but, or maybe you could. Maybe you could. But man, ooh. I am glad it is the Cayman Island Classic instead of the freaking SEC tournament, SEC game, NCAA tournament. Obviously, that would be the worst. Here's a link. I'd put it up on the screen, but obviously I don't have rights to that. That's a link to the final play for those that want to see it. And that's bad for the algorithm for me to pull y'all off the platform, but we were up by 8 at half. Wait, really? RIP to the great Ray Guy. I didn't know that. So I turned my ankle on Ray Guy's foot at Southern Miss. Like in an actual game or just walking around. That's kind of crazy. That's one of the biggest, most important feat in NFL history. Yeah, I just watched it. There it is right there. It like intramural basketball. Zion dropped 32 versus the Spurs. You're talking about the Spurs? That is the tank job, the San Antonio Spurs. Well, Jordan, I sent you an email with the link so we could see the bread pudding, the white chocolate bread pudding. I'll put your stepdad on here right now. I'm in a jovial mood. I sent you an email I was going to put you on the stream, but I guess we're not good enough. But don't worry about it. Don't do it. I'm about to sign off anyway. All good. Oh, there he is. So, what? Jordan? Am I going to put Jordan on? I don't know if I want to put Jordan on now. I'm scared now. Just put we'll put him on. All right, Jordan, what's up, man? Why can't I hear him? Can y'all hear Jordan? Let me see if I can. There he is. Can you hear me, Jordan? Why can't I hear him? I don't know why I can't hear him. Hold on one second. Let me see. Audio. Turn on speakers. Let me see. Device is not connected. You couldn't hear him? That was enough. Huh? 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 I don't know. I don't know why I couldn't hear him. I just wanted to see. I didn't care to talk to him. I just wanted to see the bread pudding. I'm just kidding. Happy Thanksgiving to all, and hope you have a blessed day. Thanks so much, Emperor. I appreciate you. All right, Jared, I'm going to send it to you now. We'll try Jordan here again. Let me send this to Jared. We'll put Jared on there. I'm in a Thanksgiving mood. Make sure he's not muted on his end. Golden Boot knows StreamYard better than anybody. Yeah, I guess he was just muted. We're gonna put Jared on now. Jared, I don't know if you had any bread pudding. I'm a bread pudding fanatic. So Jared, I just texted you the link. I'm gonna put you on. I kind of want to get a PHLer on. If not, I'll get Pooh Bear on. Don't send it to me. I'm naked, only wearing. I hope not. Huh? Well, yeah. I guess we're not. I guess we're not gonna get. I guess we're not gonna get him. I wanted to see the bread pudding. That's what I wanted to see. But I get it. It could. There's all these kinds of technical things. It's all good. All right. So in the next 5 minutes, I'll answer as many questions as I possibly can. And the cool thing is if you super chat, we'll keep it going. Nude, political, and feet. I love it. Jared did everything possible to make sure I didn't put him on here. I do want Jared to join me one day, though. Turkey or ham? Jared hit on all three. Oh man, that's so funny. Yeah, I guess. I guess it might have been me. God would have loved to have Jordan on here. There we go. Oh. That's still so funny. I'd love to. I really enjoyed Pass Christian, Mississippi. I really did. So yeah, I really enjoyed myself. Then again, I went to I was in a pretty epic wedding. Skipper, you got to be a part of it. But yeah, it was a pretty fun day. Pretty fun day. So yeah, I hate that we didn't get to see the bread pudding. I am a little angry that Creek did not show up tonight, but guess what? That's life. You can't always get what you want. So tonight, what do we learn? And we learned that the Master Blaster choked in his biggest sports moment of his life. Okay, let's try Jordan one more time. Jordan, what's good, man? Can you hear me? I cannot hear him. Hold on one second. Hold on one second. Type Y for yes. Type in for no if you can hear Jordan. Type Y for yes. Type in for no. I have no idea why we can't hear him at all. Look at that. Okay, we still get this. I don't know why his microphone's not working, but we have this bread pudding being cooked. Look at this. I wish we had audio, but that's fine. His mic isn't connected. He's muted on his end. There he is. He's showing his whole family. Can't hear him at all. And he's showing his whole family. He's showing his whole family's full body. Why am I even allowing this? Huh? I don't know what it is. He's all the way in Albuquerque, right? That's like that's the home of Walter White. You got to be careful with people in Albuquerque. So yes, on Saturday we are doing pregame, halftime, and postgame. He might not have given the app permission. He might think that the government is tuning in on him. We did, however, get to see the bread pudding, and it is only 8:33 in Albuquerque. Albuquerque, or is that no? Albuquerque's not West Coast. It's Colorado time, so it's 9:33, and the kind of like a mean bread pudding right there. Hey, don't worry about it, Jordan. It's fine. It's all good. Huh? What? Okay, so tell us this, Jordan. What kind of phone do you have? Right? Like, I can understand the microphone issues if you have like a BlackBerry or a Nokia brick trying to do this. But honestly, God bless your family. It's good to meet your family, and we'll do more of this. I'm fine with putting all the monetization on the line for some live shots at some of you. Hal, no show tomorrow night. Enjoy your day. We might get frisky and do one Friday, but on Saturday we will do our normal pregame, halftime, and postgame. Now, Hal, you are a member of the Patreon, so you know about all the Patreon stuff we already do. We've already got our advanced scouting report out. So yeah, really excited about that. I want to show you guys this. Steve texted me earlier today. Let me see. Steve was look at that. Anytime you get one of these, look at that. He showed me this too. Okay. Thank you, Skipper. I appreciate it. Look at that. Look at that ham right there from Steve. Look at that. Look at that. Put some rib glaze on there. Oh yeah, Jordan. Jordan, you're a Marine as well, right? It's really cool. Jordan, kind of tall. LOL. Jordan, how tall are you? The people want to know. The people want to know. Jordan, the people got to know your height. I don't. That guy on the couch was like 6'12". My goodness. Man, the Pelicans are going to draft him to guard Victor Wembanyama. The only problem is Victor is going to be a Pelican next year. He's 5'11". For Pierce, what made you think Jordan was tall? That's so funny. That's so funny. I wish I was 6 inches taller. Nah, bro, he's 10 foot tall and bulletproof. Hal says he wishes he was 5'11". It's either Hal is 6'9", wishing he was shorter, or he's like 5'8", wishing he was 5'11". Your height is your height. Like, you know, tell him, Jared. Not the only time a man has claimed more inches. Hal's 5'4". Yeah, the only thing that matters when it comes to height is being an athlete. I know it's like a big thing on the internet, like, and like on dating apps, like women saying, don't message me if you're not 6'1", or, you know, there's always a thing about tall guys. See, don't, if you're not 6 foot, don't bother. Who cares? I don't care how tall you are, right? If you can spit game, it doesn't matter. And half of the battle is confidence, right? That's all there is to it. Now, I did see a very funny tweet. If I could bring this up before we get out of here. So Mike Golick Jr., I love Golick Jr. His tweet. Not if you're a jockey, right, Jared? Oh, that's crazy, Hal. I had leukemia when I was 8 years old, and that killed my growth. That's nuts. Absolutely nuts. All right, so let's go to Jordan Super Chat here. My stepdad, LSU 87, asking, am I taking David Woodley or Steve Ensminger? So I'm going to defer to Skipper here. He knows mostly LSU football pre-1990s. Obviously I'm going to be biased towards Steve Ensminger because he has played a huge role in the success of modern LSU. So I guess I'm rolling with Steve Ensminger. I guess I got to pull up their numbers as well. That's well said. I'd rather be here in short than not be here at all. Well, I'm glad you are here on PHL. There's 1,000 different channels you could be watching, and you chose me, okay? So, David Woodley's name did pop up recently because, before Joe Burrow, he was the last LSU quarterback to compete in the Super Bowl, right? And obviously, his story actually got kind of sad. I won't get into it now. And obviously Steve Ensminger he's had some tragedy as well, but more so not with him, but his family. The Carly story really stinks, and I knew Carly. But both of them as players, I think Let me see how. Not pro. College stats. Okay. So David Woodley's best year. And Jordan, ask your stepdad who he would take. Well, Skipper, I know you're a Burt Jones all the way. But he'd go with Steve Ensminger. Okay. Now I wasn't old enough to watch them play, obviously. So let's do this. Okay. Here's what we'll do. Obviously, both are at LSU around the same time, and both have a relationship with PHL guest Charles Alexander. Obviously, Charles is a friend of the channel, good friend of the channel. So here's what we're going to do. Okay. I'm going to show you two different stat sheets and tell me which quarterback you think is better. Okay, and then I'll reveal which one is which. Okay, so here is quarterback number 1 and his stats. Okay, let me see if you could see him. Yeah, you could see him. Okay, this is quarterback number 1 and his stats. Okay, so that's quarterback number 1. All right. Now, let's show you quarterback number 2. All right. No. Okay, I almost screwed this up. Oh, yeah, their names are at the top. Okay. Here's quarterback number 2, David Woodley. Just amazing how different the passing numbers were. 2 touchdowns, 6 picks. 3 touchdowns, 7 picks. 3 touchdowns, 2 picks. 46%. I mean, it's honestly pretty close. I'm kind of shocked at how close these numbers actually are. So yeah, I guess, man, it honestly is really tight. That's crazy. That's good, Joshua. That's good, Joshua. My thoughts are with you, man. Josh, if you email me, I'll send your son some cards. Is he still is he still going through it? Yeah, Joshua, shoot me an email, powerhourlsu@gmail.com. I'll send your son some cards, man. I know it sucks, man. I didn't know that about you. So yeah. And I got these little packs. I've get kids of a bunch of cards. So he's 1 year past long term. Well, there you go. I'll still send him some cards anyway. I know the battle's never, just over, but I'm glad he's doing better. So yeah, just shoot me an email, or you can shoot me if it's easier at Power Hour LSU, or don't shoot me, but shoot me a message at Power Hour LSU on Twitter or Instagram, and I will send it. Okay. There you go. You couldn't use your hands to pass block then. So there you go. Now, hope you guys are having an awesome Thanksgiving. And we'll talk to you. Don't forget, Saturday, pregame, halftime, postgame. Also, okay, very important. It's kind of cool. Honestly, this kind of made me feel a little bit more official. We do have powerhourlsu.com. Okay. It's not some fancy website. Don't be expecting, breaking news or anything. It's basically a storefront. Now, I'll post a few things here or there from there. But go to powerhourlsu.com. We have a Black Friday sale. All my items will go up after Friday. So make sure you check it out. powerhourlsu.com. Okay. Now, those shirts aren't the original PHL OG shirts. I still have a ton of them. And when you get a PHL OG shirt from me, that comes with cards, stickers, bands, and all that stuff. So there you go. So powerhourlsu.com. Go to the site, order a bunch of stuff, Black Friday, get yourself a bunch of hoodies. Weather's about to get a little chilly. And they ship really quick. I was shocked at how quickly they shipped. And just to let you know, this isn't just some, obviously I'm doing it to make money, but I actually bought some of the stuff myself. And I love it. I really, really do. So, yeah, it is Power Hour LSU. Boom. And tonight, what's for dinner? Tonight, I'm doing some Saskatchewan spicy green beans. Let's go. Michael B., I'll send you the message in Discord. And that's where I'm going to be chatting right now. Let's go.